Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino, CDM number 9. Well, it's going to continue to be beautiful out there, with a few minor exceptions, which I'm going to point out in just a moment. But overall, enjoy this weather because unfortunately, we are heading towards another little mini heat wave that's going to feature some high humidity and, of course, the concern of a dangerous heat index pushing over 100 degrees. That's towards the end of this week. And then the weekend, well, sorry guys, more showers, more thunderstorms, but let's dive into that. Of course, if you're interested in this channel, if you like this channel, definitely like, share, and subscribe. It actually helps out quite a bit. And if you're interested in more detailed information and a look at the tropics and some other details, definitely check out the premium consulting membership, only $15 a month. All right, let's dive into the data. And you can see high pressure is in control, tranquil weather conditions, winds are from the northeast, around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Humidity is relatively low, ranging from the lower 50s over the interior to the lower 60s along the coast. And our surface temperatures are not bad at all. Lower to mid 60s over the interior, mid to upper 60s in the suburbs, upper 60s to lower 70s on the I-95 corridor and on the immediate coast. Very nice weather conditions. But you see this trough right here? In fact, let's take a look at the latest WeatherTap radar and surface map. See that trough right there? This might spawn an isolated shower or two. You can see one trying to pop up here off the coast. So anywhere right along the Jersey Shore here, you could get a rogue isolated shower that pops up, very, very light rainfall. Nothing that's going to ruin your day. But don't be surprised to see a few cumulus pop up and surprise you right along the coast, especially with a little bit of a sea breeze enhancement here with that northeasterly flow, a little bit warmer over the I-95 corridor, and you can get a nice little gradient here and have a shower pop up. Taking a look at the infrared satellite picture, you see that little feature right here. Right here. It's really hard to see, but the NAM model guidance, which is a mesoscale model, is kind of picking up on this potential here, dropping in. So it could produce a rogue shower. Again, I'm not looking for anything major out of this, but just don't be surprised by it. Other than that, it's beautiful out there. Everything else is setting up to be absolutely wonderful with excellent weather conditions. So let's dive into this forecast. For today, again, the European guidance, which is the one I typically use here, it is producing or showing some sign of maybe an isolated shower right around the Jersey Shore. We'll keep an eye on that. Other than that, it's pretty quiet with temperatures ranging from, and again, this is beautiful for this time of year, considering it could easily be 99. Temperatures mid to upper 70s over the northern interior, upper 70s to lower 80s along the coast, lower to mid 80s on the I-95 corridor, and again, with low humidity, not much of a heat index. For tonight into tomorrow morning, look for clear skies, low temperatures in the upper 50s to lower 60s over the northern interior, lower to mid 60s along the coast. For tomorrow afternoon, look for scattered cloud cover. Again, the sea breeze front could spark off an isolated shower, but for the most part, it's going to be pretty quiet with temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 80s over the northern interior, lower to mid 80s along the coast, and upper 80s to lower 90s on the I-95 corridor. Heat index pushing more into the mid 90s. But again, nothing that's too unusual for this time of year. Now on Thursday, the heat and humidity starts to increase. We get more of a southwesterly wind at the surface with low temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 60s over the northern interior, upper 60s to lower 70s in your suburbs, lower to mid 70s in your urban areas. High temperatures range from the mid to upper 80s over the northern interior and along the coast, upper 80s to lower 90s on the I-95 corridor in your urban areas, and your heat index is going to push into the mid to upper 90s. Then on Friday, a true tropical air mass really takes hold with a nice southwesterly flow at all levels of the atmosphere. But you're also going to see a cold front off to our west. Now, the majority of these showers and thunderstorms will remain to our west, but a few isolated thunderstorms are going to try to creep in the afternoon, especially over the northern interior and along the immediate coast with the sea breeze front. Meanwhile, our temperatures are going to go through the roof. Look at low temperatures ranging from the upper 60s to lower 70s over the northern interior, lower to mid 70s everywhere else. High temperatures will range from The mid to upper 60s, just saying 60s, mid to upper 80s on Long Island, upper 80s to lower 90s along the coast, mid to upper 90s on the I 95 corridor, and lower to mid 90s over the interior, with a heat index pushing into the hundreds. So it's going to be steamy, it's going to be uncomfortable, and watch the kids and elderly because it's also going to be dangerous with that type of heat. Drink plenty of water. If you start feeling hot, try to find some place with air conditioning. Try to cool yourself off with some water. Stay away from caffeine because that can really enhance the impacts of heat as well. On Saturday, the cold front presses south. So Friday night through Saturday, the cold front presses south with waves of showers and thunderstorms. And with the high amount of moisture in the atmosphere, a couple of these thunderstorms are going to pack a punch with very heavy rainfall, strong downburst wind gusts over 55 miles per hour, which would make them severe, hail, frequent vivid lightning. Temperatures on Saturday will range from the lower to mid 70s over the northern interior, mid to upper 70s in the suburbs, upper 70s to lower 80s in your urban areas. High temperatures will range from the lower to mid 80s over the northern interior, upper 80s to upper 90s on the I 95 corridor, and upper 80s to lower 90s along the coast. Now, why are we seeing such a huge gradient on the I 95 corridor? Well, a lot of this depends on the placement of the cold front here. This cold front is going to be pressing south, and the real difference in those temperatures really depends on whether or not you get one of those thunderstorms to sit over your region or whether you just remain steamy with those temperatures driving into the 90s with some breaks of sun. So anyway you slice it, it's going to be ugly out there with a heat index pushing over 100. So either you get the steam bath or you get the torrential downpours. Anyway you slice it, Saturday is not looking very pleasant. Then this is where things get interesting. A slight change in the forecast. Now the cold front is expected to press further south with a little bit stronger high pressure over the Canadian Maritimes and around the Gulf of Maine. With the cold front pressing south, you get a little bit cooler air mass, maritime air mass. So low temperatures range from the upper 60s to lower 70s over the northern interior, mid to upper 70s along the coast. And high temperatures will range from the lower to mid 80s throughout the region. With a little bit more stable air mass, we're not talking about thunderstorms. Now we're talking about pesky showers. So mix of sun and clouds, pesky scattered showers, a little bit of drizzle. Not exactly the best weather conditions for outdoor activities, but again, not a washout. On Monday, the frontal boundary stays to our south, stalled out with variable cloud cover, a few isolated showers, low temperatures in the mid to upper 60s over the northern interior, upper 60s to lower 70s along the coast, high temperatures in the lower to mid 80s over the northern interior, mid to upper 80s along the coast. And on Tuesday, a trough will swing through the region with variable cloud cover and a few widely scattered showers. Look for low temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, high temperatures in the lower to mid 80s. So looks like an active end to the week and also through the weekend with showers and thunderstorms. But in the meantime, enjoy the pleasant weather that we're expecting today. So as always, stay safe out there.